What's up guys, how are you doing? You might be looking around for garage LED bulbs, the ones that look like this, that have the wings, the fancy wings that fold. You can do them like this and you can unfold them, and there's 17,000 million, 11 trillion, gazillion different variations of these on Amazon. Now, I've run through a few different variations, and in my experience, I've ended up with these as the final go-to, right? And I'll explain why these are better than the other variations that you might find on Amazon or eBay or wherever you're selling these, or not selling, you're buying these things, right? This is not a sponsored video. I bought these all with my own money. This is just my experience. I will put a link in the description below for these ones specifically. These ones is in proper grammar, I know, but the link will be an affiliate link, an Amazon affiliate link, so I get like 2 to 3% or 4%, whatever the small percentage of the sale is. It doesn't cost you, it's the same price, but I get, just being fully transparent with you, I do get like a commission for it. But anyways, let's talk about why these are better than the other ones, and let's get the first thing out of the way. If you have regular like fluorescent bulbs or whatever, what's the old the tungsten filament bulbs, if you have those in your garage still, you need to heavily reconsider that, because number one, let's get the obvious out of the way, these are way brighter and way more energy efficient. Let me show you how much brighter they are. Okay, now this is replacing all those LED bulbs with basic halogen bulbs. And you better hit the like button, because I spent $9 at Walmart and 19 minutes of my time unscrewing all these 9-ass light bulbs that are high up and putting stupid ass halogen bulbs on there, which I now have to go undo. So hit the like button. But as you can see, for instance, right there, you can tell the color difference between that garage and this garage, right? You can see this is a much more tungsten look. I kept the white balance the same on the camera, lighting settings the same. So it's the exact same thing, it's just much darker in here, and it's much more orangey. But yeah, very dim. Another added benefit would be if you have security cameras in your garage, they're gonna have camera sensors like as much light as possible. They're gonna operate at their optimal performance when you provide a lot of outside light for them. So if you light the subject, AKA the garage, my camera there is gonna get a much cleaner image of the garage than if the lights are not as dim, right? And the great thing is I can leave these on or trigger a motion thing where they're LEDs, not these, the big bulbs, they're LEDs, so they don't consume a lot of electricity, right? So I can leave them on. I can probably leave them running all the time if I wanted to. I don't always, but at night I try to leave some of them on. Also, getting back to the color temperature, that's kind of a preference thing also. So like as you can see in that garage over there, that has my off-brand Prius and my not a Harley Davidson in there, right? Also, that garage only has 4 sockets in the ceiling for lights, and I have those LEDs in there, but they are plenty bright for that room. The camera picks up everything, and I think the car actually looks better when it's under these nice lights, right? But like I said, you can see the difference here between this orange tungsten light and this light over here, which is a much bluer, whiter, whatever you would call it, hue, tint, color temperature. But anyways, you get it. This is obvious. Those LED lights are much brighter than these old tungsten, halogen, whatever light things. Back to brighter me. Boom, back to brightness, right? And a better color temperature. This daylight balanced versus the old tungsten balanced stuff, right? So that's the obvious reason just to step into the world of these style of LED, butterfly, foldable, crazy bright lights for your garage. Now let's get into why you should pick this one over other different variations. Number one is gonna be this diffusion surface over the top of it. Now, a lot of them that you will see will just be like bare LED bulbs that you'll see, and they'll just be blaring light at you. Now, what's the problem with that? I might be just the tiniest more educated on like light and what is pleasing to the eye, because I have a background in video and photo, and I know what light looks good and what light looks bad in certain situations, right? So in general, a more diffused, softer light is desirable, and that's what this produces over the ones that are just the bare LED bulbs. This milky plastic surface over the LED bulbs, the light bounces around inside of this and then comes out as an even source of light. So it makes a bigger, more even source of light versus just like 20 little LEDs just blaring light at you. Let me give you a real world example of a bare LED bulb versus a diffused LED bulb, what it looks like. All right, so what we have here is a big LED production video light, right? So there's a diffuser on the front. You see the big white ball? That would be what this milky white surface would do. This is the diffusion, right? So that is the diffusion on there. First, we're gonna take that off. We're gonna use the Camaro as a subject. We're gonna turn all these lights off. I'm gonna show you what harsh LED light looks like, and then what a soft and diffused LED light looks like. All right, so the diffuser's off. That's just the bare LED bulb over there. As you can see on the Camaro, it's a very harsh light. The brights are very bright, and the shadows are very harsh. Look at, as I like run my hand over the car, it casts a very harsh shadow, right? Now that's with the diffuser on. It looks much better, right? It's like a much more natural kind of gradient light from the source, and it's less harsh, I guess is what you would say. The shadows are less sharp. There is more definition in the shadows. You get less, so there's a less huge difference between the shadows and the light, right? So before, you could barely see inside the car. You can kind of see in there a little bit now, but it's the softened light spreads better. All right, so what does that mean for you in your garage? That means these, having this diffusion layer over them, is going to look much better, more pleasing to the eye. So how does that matter for you in your garage? Number one, this means that you get a much better looking light. Everything is more visually pleasing, right? Which is, you know, it's good. But there is the argument that who cares? I just want more light on what I want to look under the hood and be have it a brighter surface to look at, right? So the benefit of these versus a harsh one is, like I said before, the difference between light and dark is less harsh. So it's more of a gradient than like a light, dark. So when your eyes are trying to adjust to something, you get blasted with this very bright thing, and then over here where you might need to tighten something or get a bolt in a weird place where you're looking at, you can't really see because it's much darker than this surface. Whereas with the diffused LED like this, that helps a lot with that to make it more even lighting. So it's much easier for your eyes to adjust and see things better. All right, reason number two is the LED chips inside of these are actually good LEDs. When you're buying LED things online, you never know. In my field, where you're doing video or something like that, if you've ever seen a video where there's like black lines, it's called, there's like black lines on the screen from the lights. There's basically two different ways LED lights are powered, two very common ways LED lights are powered. One is like, it's like a very fast like burst of power, and there's one that's like a constant. I don't know the very specifics of it, but the one that does like the fast repetitive bursts of energy, whatever the hell that's called, somebody in the comments can tell me what that's called. That's the cheaper way to do it usually versus the better way, which you don't see any flickering at all with these, which is really good as far as if the LEDs are quality, you're not gonna get flickering. No matter what my shutter speed is, I could change my shutter speed and I already have, but there's not gonna be any banding issues with this image. So if you are maybe gonna film something with your iPhone or with the camera in your garage, these lights will work just fine. All right, number three is gonna be price. These are like 10 bucks a piece, so two of these for 20 bucks is a pretty good deal. So for me, I have 9 lights in here, so it cost me basically 90 bucks to make this whole garage a lot brighter, and it's just plug and play right into the ceiling. Now, a really cool thing about these, which some of them don't include, is these little extenders right here. So these are basically extenders where you can take and extend the base of the bulb out. So if you have almost a flush mount socket in your ceiling for your light, your E26 base, if it's kind of like flush to the ceiling, you don't get the advantage of being able to take this bulb right here and then folding it up like this, which is kind of like the optimal position depending on your garage. Sorry, I'm sweating so much, it's so freaking humid here. But anyways, in the garage, right, if you have, let's say, white walls and a white ceiling, which I do not, so my application is a little bit different, but if you have a white ceiling, white walls, something like that, kind of a basic garage look, this is the optimal position because you have the light coming down just like a regular light bulb. Well, all light bulbs shoot pretty much 360, right? But this will shoot it all everywhere out to the side. Some of it will reflect off of the ceiling, off of the walls. That further diffuses the light and makes the light source even bigger, and which makes the light source more even, right? Which kind of described with the two shots of the Camaro, you can kind of get that gist. So with these, if you were to do this and unfold them on a white ceiling, you're kind of robbing yourself of some light quality, I guess is what you would say. So the most effective way to use these, weirdly enough, if you have a white ceiling and white walls, is to fold it up like this so the light can bounce off everything. Whereas this, unfolded like this, looks cooler, but you're just pointing straight down. You're gonna get some spill, of course, depending on the LED chips and what their spread is or whatever. But basically you're just shooting down. Now some of mine are like at a 45-degree angle. I don't know if you can see that one. Let me kind of move the camera. That one right there is at a 45-degree angle. Most of the ones along the wall are at a 45-degree angle, and then the ones that are in the middle are kind of pointed down. So the reason thinking behind there is that you can bounce off the wall onto things. So that's my thought process there. All right, so that kind of sums up 3 good reasons why you should be buying these specific LED garage flippy flappy flopper lights. versus all the other 17 gazillion different ones you could buy. This is just my opinion, my experience. I've experienced quite a few. Well, I've experienced 3 total. So 2 before this, and then this one was the final iteration that I tried that actually worked really well. So the other 2 I don't even have anymore. Like I said, I gave them to friends. I did not want them to be in my life anymore because they pissed me off quite a bit. Now again, you don't have to use my link. It'd be really cool if you did. If this video helped you out, you could hit the like button and you could use my link. It would help me out. But you don't have to. You can just literally go to Amazon or wherever and look up like LED garage lights and find ones with diffused things on these, right? Now, I don't know as far as the quality of the LED. I know the ones that I'm gonna link down below have good quality LEDs that don't flicker. It's kind of a crapshoot with those. You never know. If you wanna be safe, ensure that you get a diffused one with a good LED, click my link and buy those. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching the video. Again, hit the like if this helped you out. If you feel like subscribing, I just review general stuff. I do a whole video series on the Camaro here, video series on the Camaro. So if you're into that kind of stuff, subscribe. If not, it's cool. You don't have to subscribe. But anyways, guys, that's the end of the video. Any questions you have, throw them in the comments down below. I'll try to help you out. Hit the like button again, and that's bye. Have a great day. Bye.